protest for the last 2 years. However, I never spoke in public because of the fear, and my English, of course, as a second language, and this is very emotional for me, what I will talk about. So please forgive me if I break down at any point. I believe, like, I came today to this protest and decided this is the time to speak. I lived through those experiences before, and I know the time is precious. We have to speak up. Trudeau is coming with this censorship bill when we will be persecuted. I came to Canada as a political refugee back in 1986. I was sentenced to 3.5 years of prison just because I was publishing and distributing independent information about what was happening in my country back then during the communist oppression. I chose Canada because I believed, I've done my research, and I believe there is freedom in this country. And when I came here back in '86, I fell in love with this country, and I truly enjoyed my life. I built it very successfully with raising 2 boys and having great employment, always being praised for my performance. And until the time came when the company I've been working for over the last 8 years, Canadian Natural Resources Limited, back in September, implemented the mandatory vaccination. There was given option to apply for either medical or religious exemption, and I knew my human rights because I knew the Charter of Rights. I knew I don't have to prove that I will not take something into my body just to keep my employment. However, out of respect for this company that I loved working for, I applied for this religious exemption, and as required, I obtained the supporting documentation, and Pastor Rodney 14 from the Church of the Vine that I've been attending provided me with the required supporting documentation why he, as the leader of the church that I attend, also believes that this should not be forced on a Christian, just because I truly believe that God has given me this perfect DNA that can fight anything. Over the last 8 years that I've worked at CNRL, freezing on Horizon site, I've never took one sick day. And that's because of God is perfect, and He has provided me with what I need. And I do not need mRNA, I do not need anything else to fight this COVID. Like I said, I've been coming here for over the last 2 years, hugging with my family here. All of you are my family. I've never got sick, never got COVID, and I've never took any other protection. I never wore a mask because that mask to me is a symbol of slavery. And that's why I went to the doctors and I insisted that because of what I went through when I was in jail, I will not have anything on my face because that's causing me the anxiety. And when I was still, like the company started playing dirty from that point, I applied for this religious exemption back on September 30th, which is only 7 days after they requested it. The company wouldn't respond to my request for over 2 months, for almost 2 months. And when they did, they sent me this letter, which was very disturbing, when they told me that that supporting documentation I provided was either taken off internet or copied and pasted my name to it, which was so disturbing for me because I've been always acting with this company with integrity. I've never done anything that's unethical. I would never copy and paste something or forge any document. And when I responded to my human resources, that I can provide the proof of authenticity of the supporting documentation, I was told that no, this is not that decision is not to be appealed. That bothered me so much, because even during the communism back in Poland, when I was at the court, I was given the opportunity to defend myself. And here in this free so-called country, I wasn't allowed to prove that I'm not lying. And in the next month, the company kept on pressuring me and coercing to take the vaccine and threatening that I'm going to lose my job. I will lose the bonus that I've worked so hard for. I've been saving the company millions of dollars every year by attesting the invoices from contractors and finding the errors. I was so proud of the work I was doing, and the company was praising me for that. And unfortunately, they said, no, you cannot go if you're not vaccinated by November for the first time. As of December 21st, you will be put on suspended, like you will be practically fired, right? So what happened was when I was trying to justify it and get some answers, why are you pushing me to get this vaccine? And the irony of it was, they said this is for the safety of my co-workers. Guess what? I've been working from home on the internet for the last 2 years. How could I pose safety concerns for the co-workers if I haven't seen them for 2 years? So that's what happened. And finally, I couldn't hold it and couldn't sleep. I kept on working hard regardless and performing so well, feeling it for my supervisor who wanted to appoint me once to supervise my group once she retires. And the point came when I couldn't handle it anymore. So I started seeking medical help because I couldn't sleep at night. Melatonin did not work anymore. So it came to a point where I went to the medicine center that I've been going for last 2 years, asking for help. The doctors refused it. Just because I said that I will not take the vaccine, the doctor said, well, we're not going to take you. The actual doctor who that was a walk-in clinic, and because I was working out of town, flying in and out, I've been seeing multiple doctors. But the doctor who I've been going to for my yearly medicals, she refused. She says, no, I'm not going to treat you. I'm semi-retiring. I'm not going to treat you just because. Why don't you want to take the vaccine? She says, I took it and I'm all good. So if you don't want to, then try to find another doctor. And at that medicine center, they said, no doctor will take me as the family doctor. And I say, how is that? You guys had my files for last 30 years. How come no doctor will accept me? So finally, through my family here, I found a doctor who actually helped me, and I found this beautiful psychologist who is still there for me and helping me deal with the situation. What happened later, once the company put me on, they suspended me as of December 21st. Of course, I was told that I will not be eligible for the bonus that I worked so hard for the whole year. I will not be eligible to get my shares. I will not be eligible for the short-term disability, which was a part of my compensation package. And that's what they said in the official letter. So when it came to the point where finally I found the doctor who said, no, you cannot work, and the psychologist who actually she found that I'm dealing with PTSD due to what I went back there and what I'm going through now here. My company still would not provide me with no help whatsoever. I was denied the short-term disability. I was denied, of course, like EI, because that's what it said in the letter, that if you lost your job due to a refusal of vaccine, you will not qualify for nothing. After that was the first time, like, working in all these years in Canada. I've never been on any EI. I've never claimed anything. And here where I need help, the company refused it. And that's what was happening. And I kept on asking, why did you put the code M on my record of employment if I am currently on a sick leave with the doctor's note? They said, no, we will not change. I asked, they wouldn't revise my ROE. And as of April 4th, the company sent us the letter that we are all allowed to come back to work. And then HR started harassing me. They sent me an email, and then they sent me a registered letter, and the HR person called me, what's my intention if I'm coming back to work? And I say, how can I come back to work if I'm not well? I cannot handle the situation. So what they say, well, unfortunately, that you will be treated as you are, I'm losing my words, that you abandoned your job. And then what happened shortly after, I am a part of the group that the lawyer Leighton Gray is representing. That yesterday, if you saw that on the news, there was Rick Ducharme, one of the foremen up from Bonneville area, and he was speaking to CTV News, which really surprised me. How come they suddenly started showing such cases that there are those unvaccinated CNRL employees who are suing the company? So I'm sorry, so what happened, I'm just wrapping it up, what happened was that CNRL did suddenly change my record of employment out of nowhere and put me on unpaid leave, illness. And when I asked, why are you doing that 4 months later, when I was asking you back in December, you insisted that I am dismissed, and suddenly I'm on unpaid leave, illness. And then, of course, they want me to see. I'm sorry. I'm almost finishing. What I want to tell you guys, just to finish it off, this sign was created by Pastor Artur Pawlowski. He got that inspired by that MOOC solidarity movement that I was in jail for. And he believes, just like I truly believe, that's why I've been coming here, we have to fight for our freedom. If not, everything will be taken away from us. And trust me, the time is coming, they will go after us. Just like when I went to jail for just the publishing and distributing the information like you can find on these tables. The time is coming soon. We have to speak up, and that's when, although I've been really hard for me to make that decision to speak, however, I knew this is like, we have to speak up. We have to stand up against this evil. So this is the time.